how to build the capacity of your nonprofit board. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking on how to unlock corporate cash flow for your nonprofit. And one of the important steps in that process is, involving your board members. And we kept on getting the question, how do you get to involve your board members, or how do you get them to support you through the process? Knowing that, 80% of nonprofits or charities out there struggling are usually because of not having quality board members who can support their mission. And with us saying you have to involve your board members in the process, now founders are asking, how do you get them to support you? Because this is something most founders have struggled with, right? The truth is, most board members haven't really done a good job when it comes to supporting the organizations they are a part of. Some think it's just all about showing up for meetings and, just being a board member, having that name, that title, right? But the truth is, the responsibilities of a board member is really important. And if it is neglected, the organization is most likely going to struggle. This is because the nonprofit sector, the nonprofit space, is in a one-man show. It is a sector that requires the community to band around the impact for the impact to be successful. But how do you get the community to band around the impact when the very people within the organization are yet to band around the impact, are yet to support? Now, the truth is, some board members don't even have the capacity to support. That's it. It's as surprising as it is. Some don't even know their responsibilities. Some, it's just a whole lot of excuses if you begin asking these board members why they are not supporting. But in all this, right, you can get your board members to support you if you build their capacity to be able to do so. Now, I've always heard, bring in quality board members. And the truth is, even if you bring in quality board members and they don't support you, there's really little to nothing you can achieve. So you need to be able to build their capacity to support you. How then do you build their capacity to support your organization? I'm going to be taking you through 8 steps over the next couple of weeks to guide you through how you can build the capacity of your board members to support your organization so that they can support, whether it's as regards fundraising, program implementation, hiring, every aspect of the organization. Board members can support you if you are able to build their capacity to be able to do so. I know the organizations that are run by staff, executive management team, this does not also take the place of board members. Board members are the real deal. If you know how to harness them and know how to get the best of your board members, your executive directors, your CEOs, your executive management team, your staff are going to be having a good time running the organization and creating the impact that you all have dreamt about. So here are the 8 steps to build the capacity of your board members so that they can support your mission, right? So that you can be able to achieve your vision. The first is board assessment. Really, you need to assess your board, right? What is missing? What is not right? Where are the gaps? What are the core skills, the core strengths of my board members? Where are they lacking behind? Without you assessing your present board, you may not know what's missing or what's needed to help these board members support you as much as you want them to. So the very first step is assessing your board to know their strengths, know where they can support you, know where they are lacking behind, so that you can be able to then move on to the next step, where we call the board re-engagement or the recruitment process. So once you've been able to see the gap, the board re-engagement process is You are re-engaging the board to find out, because in most occasions we find out that these board members sometimes are already distant from the organization and most likely are already falling off. So board re-engagement is you having a conversation with them to say, are you willing to continue with us? We are heading in a new direction and we want your support. Are you able to give us that support? So you need to be able to re-engage them after reassessing them. After assessing them, you need to be able to re-engage them so that you can be able to get the confidence that these people are with you. The worst thing you can do as a founder, as a CEO, is run with people who are not with you. So you need to be able to re-engage them, have that discussion, open-minded discussion, where you can get their commitment that they are still on board and they are willing to do what it takes to make the organization win. Board recruitment, on the other hand, comes in when you assess your board and you find out that there's a real gap you need to fill, right? There are skill sets that are missing, there are quality of people that are missing. Then it means after assessing your board, you have to go recruit these people. So it's two ways. After assessing your board, you could go back there, re-engage your present board members and get them up, get their approval so that you can begin to run with them, or you can simply go ahead to recruit new board members. I always talk about re-engagement because your old board members, whatever mission, whatever passion that attracted them to the organization, whatever motivation, it's usually still there. But unless you engage them the right way, right, you may not be able to get that passion. So re-engaging them, you could reactivate that passion, that motivation, and get them back on track. For board recruitment, you're looking out to bring in new board members who can support the mission, who can support you in achieving the vision, right? And then the board recruitment process has to be a very robust and standard process that ensures that these board members know what they are coming into, they sign to it, they are well onboarded, they know their responsibilities, right? And then you, before introducing them to the new old board members. So board recruitment is a very critical process in realigning your board. This is because when you're recruiting board members, you can begin to bring in commitments, you can begin to bring in policies that would strengthen your board so that when these people come in, they can automatically fall in line. So, for example, one of the policies or commitments you could bring in is 100% board giving, and that has to be enacted during board recruitment, not when they're already in the board. So you see, with board recruitment, you can start getting it right as regards fundraising, because if of course you want these guys to support you as regards fundraising, they should be able to give their resources to the organization. People who give are most likely to follow through in supporting you as regards your organization. And then over to the next step, which is strategic planning or strategic planning review. Now you've re-engaged the board, now you've recruited new board members. What next? You need to plan with them, or you need to review your already created strategic plan with them. If you already have a strategic plan, you go ahead to review with them. That way, they get a clear understanding of the mission. They get a clear understanding of what you're looking to do to achieve the mission, resources that's needed, how to go about raising money, marketing the organization. All that has to be discussed, clearly outlined, with people providing their suggestions, their ideas. I call the strategic planning process a mixing process. It's a process where old and new board members get to mix and then gain one alignment. Because by planning, they get to clearly understand the organization, the intricacies of the organization. And then, in community development, we say people who plan together execute together. So after re-engaging your board or recruiting new board members, the most important step you must take next is to plan with them or review the plan you've already created with them. Now, I'm taking you through a step-by-step process so that you can be able to know where you are and then begin to work with your board members forward, or bring in new board members and then begin to work with them forward. Now, after planning with them, planning marketing, fundraising, partnership, organizational profiling, community profiling, team building, after doing all that with them, the next step is to delegate responsibilities or committee placement. Now, planning is not successful unless there is a delegation of responsibilities, because think about it. We've been able to plan, we've been able to identify what we need to do to get the organization to a certain place. How do we then execute? People have to take up responsibilities within what we've agreed to do so that we can begin to, start executing forward towards where we want to get to. So that's really where delegation of responsibilities come in, because you want your board members to take up responsibilities. Just leaving them idle will distance them from the organization. So after planning, you need to be able to, delegate responsibilities and also create committees. So, for example, you've looked into your organization after planning and you have 4 key pillars: fundraising, program execution, hiring, marketing. You could create these 4 committees to ensure that you are pursuing these different pillars individually, and at the same time, creating results, rather than the board running towards one end, coming back, going to program implementation, coming back and going to hiring. With committees, the board can be hiring, fundraising, marketing, executing programs at the same time, because with committees you can be able to band in small units and then begin to execute. So delegation of responsibilities and committees are like the action steps forward to executing your strategic plan, and that's why it must come next. And then again, if you bring them in without engaging them with these responsibilities or putting them into these subunits where they can execute together, they may be distant from the organization in no time. Now, once you've been able to, delegate responsibility and place them in committees, the next step is to build their capacity. Now, for example, we've been able to delegate fundraising, or we've been able to, delegate, introducing your network to the organization as one of the responsibilities of board members. How can they do that? Some board members don't even know how to talk about the organization. Some board members don't even know how to, make the ask on behalf of the organization. Depending on what you want them to do, you need to be able to build their capacity by training them, providing them the knowledge, the skill, or whatever they need to be able to execute. People are trainable, and then they can deliver more results if you train them. So capacity building and equipping these board members is key if you want to be able to, move them to the level where they can be able to support you with their skills, their area of expertise, right? Their network. You need to be able to train them so that they know how to do it, what to do, and then provide them the tools they need to do it. So, for example, if a board member is supposed to introduce you to their network, you should be able to provide them some content, some introductory content that says, I'm a board member in this organization. This is what we do. Would like you to, connect with our organization. Because if you don't give them such content or equip them with the tools they need, they are most likely going to be thinking, how do I do this? And then when they don't know how to do it, they won't do it. So you need to be able to equip them so that they can be able to support you as you move on. Now, once you've been able to equip them and build their capacity, the next step is to set expectations and put in accountability processes. Setting expectations is the core theme of leadership. Without expectations, people are most likely just going to be, doing anything and feel like they are being successful. Like a wise man said, a car that does not know where it's going to, a person that does not know where he's going to, he will think, just anywhere is his destination. So that's what it's going to be like for your board members if you don't set expectations. You need to be able to set expectations saying, we're expecting that you introduce us to at least 12 people from your network who can donate to the organization. You need to be able to set off expectations like in areas of the responsibilities you've delegated to them. You need to be able to set up expectations like you're supposed to steward at least 10 of our donors. These expectations keep them on track and keep them at par with your organization so that they can be able to follow through with whatever you've assigned to them. Now, of course, the accountability process is also a part of the expectation, because when you give people responsibilities without an accountability process in place, these people are most likely not going to follow through. So you have to set up accountability processes within your board to ensure that board members follow through on their expectations, they follow through on their responsibilities, right? And they're able to support the organization. So some accountability process could be weekly reports. I think that's quite outdated. Another accountability process could be using these project management platforms, Asana, Trello, and all that to keep track, right? Other accountability process could just be the CEO calling in on a Monday to ask, what are your tasks? What are you doing for the week? And then calling at the end of the week to find out, what have you done? What lessons learned? What support do you need to be able to execute forward? But you need to be able to have these accountability processes in place so that these people know that they are being watched as regards the results that has been expected of them. Now, once you've said all that, it means you all have started executing. There's an accountability process running. You need to be able to reward and recognize your board members, celebrate success. So you set up you set up expectations, and then your board members have met your expectations. Some of them have even gone beyond meeting your expectations and even helping you in areas that you never phantomed, right? You need to be able to reward them. Rewarding them doesn't mean you're taking money off the organization to give to them. You could reward them as much as recognizing them across, within the board, to show what they've, the results they've created for the organization. You can reward them by, putting out content across your social media platform to recognize their efforts within your organization. You can reward them by, just any way you think is right to get these people rewarded. And then reward could also be relative, because one reward may be, say for example, posting across social media, recognizing me may not be a reward to me, but it may be a reward to someone else. So you need to also be very relative with your rewards, that you're rewarding people along the line of, so that they can really feel appreciated. That way they can do more. So reward, recognition, giving them award, hosting events in their honor, all that are good ways to reward your board members. And of course, celebrate success. So you all have been able to achieve some goal. Let's say, for example, you meet your fundraising goal, you're able to hire the staff you were looking to hire, you were able to execute a particular program and it was successful. You need to be able to celebrate that success with your board members. That reinforces a win mindset that keeps them going, so that they can be able to keep giving and keep supporting the organization. And then lastly is the board development committee. The board development committee is the heart of the board. I think every board needs to have this committee, because the board development committee, let me put it this way. The organization, it's very easy for the organization to care for everyone else, the donors, the people they serve. But who's caring for the board members? Who's looking out for their interests? Who's trying to make sure that they have the right skill, they have the right expertise, they have the right knowledge to be able to help the organization? That's the role of the board development committee. These guys look out for the welfare of board members. They follow up with board members. Sometimes they are even the accountability arm of the board to hold every board member accountable. They reward board members. They recognize board members. These guys solely focus on board members so that they can get the best of them. So if you're leaving your board members to just be who they are, you set up this accountability process, and then you're working, you're getting them to create results, and there's nobody following up on their welfare, following up on how they can best support the organization, you may have these board members burn out in no time. Or they may just get tired, or they may find another kind of organization where they are cared for. So you need to be able to set up a board development committee that can support your board members, that can help in terms of bridging the skill gap, providing that expertise, providing the training, providing the knowledge, information, anything they need to be successful. So here you have it, the 8 clear steps to build the capacity of your board members so that they can support you, whether it's as regards fundraising, whether it's as regards program execution, whether it's as regards hiring staff, whether as regards advocating for the organization across the community. You need to be able to build their capacity to be able to do so. And here are the 8 clear steps you can begin to take, one step at a time, to get you to the point where you could have a board development committee that's focused on ensuring that the board is properly assessed, There's engagement within the board. You're recruiting new board members, strategic planning, and the reviews going on consistently so that board members can know where they are and are on track. The responsibilities are being delegated, committees are created, board members' capacity are being built, whatever tools or support they need are being provided, clear expectations are being set, standard accountability process are put in place, board members are rewarded, they are recognized, and of course you all are celebrating success as you go. This is how you get boards to work. If you're experiencing board challenge, if you're experiencing any problem or challenge with your board, there is a solution. You don't have to settle with just you running around. You're going to burn out. You're going to go into frustration. You can't. Walk up to your board, get them reactivated and active, or bring in new board members who can commit to ensuring that your organization is a success and the mission is achieved. So over the coming weeks, of course, over the coming days, I'm going to be taking each of these steps one at a time to help you understand what you have to do in each of these areas to be successful for your nonprofit. So thank you all so much. I'm going to be seeing you again, of course. I'm going to be seeing you again tomorrow to talk on board assessment. And I look forward to having an awesome time with you all. I meet you again. It's bye-bye for today.